Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Omega Oluwatosin, and if this is your first time or stopping by, kindly subscribe, like, and share our videos. And on the channel today, I'm going to show you how to cut and sew this trendy dress that you are seeing on the screen. And if this is a tutorial you're interested in, keep on watching. These are the materials and tools you'll be needing for this tutorial. You can work with any fabric of your choice, but for this tutorial, I'll be working with this African print. You can get any African print of your choice. You can get two-tone African print. So this is the one I'll be working with. You need the stay for the bodice part of this tutorial. You need to get a matching zip and thread. You need two scissors, the fabric scissors and the paper scissors, a marker to draft, your rulers and pattern papers. The first thing you want to do is to mark your zipper allowance. The zipper allowance I'm going to work with is 1 inches, and that's what you see me marking. After marking the point, I rule a straight line across my mark point. Next, from the top edge of the paper, you are going to mark 1.5 inches from the top line. I will tell you why you should mark 1.5 inch along the line. So what you see me doing is marking the 1.5 inch, and I'm going to roll a straight line along this mark point as well. Next, you want to apply your vertical measurement. What you see me marking is my underbust line. I went up 0.5 inches from the underbust line. This is optional. Then your waistline. For the asymmetry details, you are going down 6 inches from the waistline. I noticed that this pattern paper wasn't enough. I went ahead to add more so that we will have a lot of paper to work with. After adding more paper, this is what it's going to look like. Now you're going to mark and measure from the waistline 6 inches. These inches account for the asymmetry detail that this dress has. For a straight line, you are going to make sure that you are marking 2 points. Now I'm going to mark my underbust line, since taking our vertical measurements and the waistline. No need to mark the 6 inches anymore. The next thing you want to do is to mark your horizontal line along these measurements. And once you are done rolling, please label the line so that you will know which line you are working on. So this is what you're going to have at this point. Extend your zipper line to the 6 inches point. Next, you are going to mark your knee to sleeve measurements. I mark from my knee to my elbow line. Please note where I'm taking my measurement from the zipper line. That's where I'm taking the measurement from. So I'm marking my knee to elbow line. Your knee is the back of your shoulder to your sleeve length. Now on the underbust line, I'm going to mark quarter of my underbust measurement, and on the same line I'm going to mark my knee to my sleeve line. That's the back of your neck to your elbow. That's what I use for this tutorial. I'm going to extend that line and connect our sleeve. So this is what the upper part is going to look like. Then I came down 6 inches from the top line, and on the waistline I went in 0.5 inches to eliminate the back bogging. After going in 0.5 inch, you are going to mark your 1 inch zipper allowance and connect this mark point to the 6 inches from the top edge. This will eliminate any back bogging that this dress is going to have. Next, you are going to connect the same 0.5 inches to the 6 inches. Up to the 6 inches point. You repeat the same thing for the zipper allowance. The next thing we want to do, we want to apply our waist measurement. On the waistline, you're going to mark quarter of your waist measurement. Now you're going to take your measurement from the original zipper line. From the original zipper line, that's when you're going to take your measurement from the original zipper line, not the outer one, the original zipper line. Okay, and on the 6 inches line, you are going to come in 2 inches because you don't want that place to be sharp big. You want it a little curve. Then I'm going to come in with my pattern master and grab the asymmetry detail that this dress has. You can see that I'm using the curve part of my pattern master, and that is all for the pattern of this dress. The next thing you want to do is just connect the side seam and add your zipper, your seam allowance. The seam allowance I'm going to add for this dress is going to be 1.5 inches. You can work with any zipper allowance of your choice, but for me I'm going to work with 1.5 inches. And for the end part, I'm going to add half inches seam allowance because we are going to add a gather skirt along the asymmetry line. So this is what your pattern should look like at the end of the day. I'm just going in to mark and measure the asymmetry details. You're going to times this by 3 or by 4 to get the fullness of the skirt that you are going to gather into this dress. Please don't cut out the 1.5 inches. The 1.5 inches is for the underbust seam allowance, which is 0.5 inch, and the 1 inches is going for the lunge detail that is going to be along the shoulder line. Please leave the rest of the pattern like so, like the back straight and everything. So this is what the pattern of this dress is going to look like. Next, we are going to work on the skirt part of this dress. The length of the skirt is going to be 22 inches from my waist. So I folded the fabric and I'm pinning it down. The next thing I'm going to do from here, I'm going to mark 23 inches. Half inches for stitching the upper skirt part to the dress, and the remaining half inches for hemming of the skirt. Yes, we are going to add 1 inch seam allowance to the 22 inches, and I folded my skirt into 4 parts. Yes, I folded the skirt into 4 parts. What you see me doing is I am measuring 23 inches, 22 inches from my waistline to where I want the hem of my skirt to be, and add 1 inch seam allowance for the seam allowance, half inches for the hem, and half inches for joining the upper bodice to the lower part of the dress. So once I got my 23, I rule a straight line, and then I'm going to come in with my scissors and cut out the skirt. The next thing you want to do, you want to fold your skirt into 4 parts, and if you notice, I folded it in such a way that we have our zipper allowance. So we have the center back and the center front of the skirt facing you, and if you notice, I notch the center front, and you are going to notch the other side. Yes, that is going to be the side seam. You are going to notch it. It is very important. Now on the center front and center back side that is facing you, you are going to come down 6 inches. Remember that on the bodice pattern from the waistline we came down 6 inches. Now on this part, on this skirt part, you're going to come down 6 inches, and you're going to add half inches seam allowance. That means you came down 5.5 inches. Then you're going to connect this 5.5 inches to the side seam, which is also the waistline. Yes, you're going to connect it to the side seam, which is also the waistline. Then you're going to cut it out in a slanty manner like this, or way like this. And this is what you're going to have. The slanted part is both the center front and the center part of the skirt. Please make sure you know, so that you know where you are going to pin to the center front or the center back of your bodies. Now I'm going to cut the back first because of the zipper allowance. After cutting the back, you're going to trim on the original seam line, that is zipper line, not the altered one. Next, we are going to cut our front part of the dress, and this front part is cut on fold. The front part of the dress is cut on fold. So this is what you are going to have at the end of the day. For the armor part of this tutorial, you're going to pin the fabric on the dress like so, and you're going to cut it out. Now the leftover is what we are going to use for the strap. The width of the strap is going to be 2 inches, and this is what your pattern should look like at the end of the day. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a nice day and bye.